If you're a content creator, filmmaker, or an editor looking to take your editing workflow to the next level, today's video is for you. We're diving into Multicam editing in Final Cut Pro. This feature can make editing multi-angle shots or multiple cameras a breeze. So let's jump in and break it down step by step. To make this as painless as possible, there's a few steps you should take before you start. First, when filming, and I'm just going to assume you're not on a professional set with timecode generators, make sure all your cameras are recording audio. We'll use the audio from your clips to precisely sync them all together. It doesn't have to be perfect, but the cleaner your audio is, the easier it'll be to sync up your footage. In most cases, the built-in mic on your camera will be just fine. Also, it doesn't hurt to have a visual cue at the start or end of your project. Clapping your hands gives you both a visual cue and the spike in your waveform you can use, just in case. It's also really helpful to organize your footage before you start editing. At the very least, you should name each camera and number each camera angle. The perfect time to name your camera is during import. Insert your memory card, and in the import window, click on the camera name in the sidebar. This lets you rename it, and Final Cut Pro will apply this camera name to all your clips off this card. Select your clips and hit the import button. Repeat these steps for all your other camera angles. Next, let's assign angles to our clips. Select one or more clips in your media browser, go to the info inspector, and down at the bottom, where it says basic, open this drop-down and switch to the extended view. First thing you'll notice is your camera name from the previous step is already auto-populated. If you missed renaming your camera during import, you can also change it here. Right above the camera name is where you can assign your camera angle. This is my main angle, so I'll assign angle 1 to this clip. I'll select the next two clips and assign them as angle 2. Repeat these steps for all your camera angles. There's more information you can enter here, but at the very least, I recommend that every clip has a camera name and an angle assigned to it. This really helps Final Cut Pro when making multicam clips, especially if they take stop and start throughout. I'll show you what can happen if you don't do this step later on in this video. And last, unless you have a really old computer or working with crazy video files, you probably don't need optimized proxy media. By default, when you make multicam clips, Final Cut Pro creates optimized media for every clip. This takes up a ton of space on your drive, so I recommend turning this off. Press Command-, to open the Final Cut Pro settings, and in the Playback tab, deselect Create Optimized Media for multicam clips. Close your settings window. Now that we have our clips somewhat organized, let's combine them into a multicam clip. You can only make multicam clips in your media browser, only from existing event clips. Select all your clips you want to add to your multicam clip. I'm going to intentionally leave a couple out just to show you how you can add them later on. Right-click on any selected clip and select New Multicam Clip. In the pop-up window, give it a name, select the event you want it in, and make sure Use Audio for Synchronization is selected. This uses the audio in your clips to precisely sync them up. Also, I'd recommend hiding your original clips, just to declutter your browser. This will make a new multicam clip based on common clip properties. If you want to customize your clip settings, click the Use Custom Settings button. This opens up a few more options. You can choose the format, resolution, and frame rate of your multicam clip, select the rendering codec, and choose the way Final Cut Pro assembles, orders, and synchronizes your clips. I'd recommend leaving all these in auto. Click OK. Final Cut Pro creates a new multicam clip in the event you selected and places duplicates of the selected clips inside this new multicam clip. It also hides the original clips so they don't clutter up your media browser. This multicam clip you just created is considered a parent clip. Any adjustments made to this parent clip or any clips inside this parent clip will be applied to all instances of it. So our next step is to adjust our clips inside this multicam clip. If you double click your new multicam clip, whether in the media browser or down in your timeline, the parent clip is opened up in the angle editor. This is where all your original clips are copied, synchronized, and since we labeled everything, all clips from the same camera are arranged and placed in their own angles. Just for reference, I imported the same clips without naming cameras or adding angle numbers. Most of the times this will work just fine, but this time, since I used two Lumix cameras, and the cards in both of them were labeled Lumix, Final Cut Pro assumed all clips were from the same camera and placed them all in the same angle, messing up the sync. This is why it's always important to label your clips. Over on the right, we have a couple icons. The computer screen icon marks a monitoring angle. This is the angle that's visible during playback in the angle editor. So, for example, if you want to make adjustments to clips in angle 2, you set that as your monitoring angle, so that's what you see in the viewer window. Let's add a LUT to this clip and adjust the framing. Go through and adjust all your clips in the angle editor. And since we added all these adjustments in our parent clip, anytime this clip is used in a project, all these adjustments will be applied there as well. The speaker icon is basically the same thing except for audio. Enabling audio monitoring will set what clip's audio you hear during playback in the angle editor. Keep in mind, the monitoring settings don't affect any of your active angles in any projects or timelines. They simply change what's playing back in the viewer while you're working inside the angle editor. The angle editor can also be used to adjust sync of your angles, rename them, and even add or delete angles. Let's add the angle we skipped when we made this multicam clip. Click the pop-up menu to the right of the angle name and choose Add Angle. A new empty angle appears in the angle editor. Drag and drop your clips into this angle. Don't worry about lining them up. With your clips inside this angle, make sure no clips are selected and open the pop-up menu in your new angle. Select Sync Angle to Monitoring Angle to use the audio in your clips to automatically sync them to the rest of your clips. Let's set this one as a monitoring angle and make any necessary adjustments to the clips. Also, to keep things organized, let's number this angle. Press the back button to close your angle editor. Your multicam clip is now ready to be used in your project. Add your new multicam clip to your timeline, just like any other normal clip. After adding it to your project, you can watch all angles at the same time in the angle viewer while switching or cutting to different angles in real time. This allows you to cut an entire movie as if it were live, then fine-tune your edits in the timeline, just like you would for any other project. Let's close our media browser to make more space and open up the angle viewer. Go up to the menu bar and select View, Show in Viewer, and Angles, or use the keyboard shortcut Shift-Command-7. Up in the top left corner, you get the option to switch your audio and video at the same time or individually. What I recommend here is keeping the same audio source for consistency while switching video angles. Select audio only switching, move your playhead to the start of your project, and click on the angle you want to use for your audio. In my case, that's the audio only angle. Now, to switch video angles, there's a couple different ways of doing it. First, go back up to the top left corner of the angle viewer and select video only switching. Move your playhead to where you want to cut to a different angle and click on the angle you want to switch to. Down in the timeline, the multicam clip is cut at the playhead position. The selection of the clip to the right of the playhead is replaced with a new instance of the clip with the angle you clicked as the active angle. Another way of switching angles is by using number keys on your keyboard. As you can see in the angle viewer, each angle is assigned a number at the bottom. Pressing that key on your keyboard switches to that angle. So if you want to switch to angle 3, you just press number 3 on your keyboard. This works awesome for live switching. You just play back your clip and use the number keys to switch between angles as your clip plays.
Let's lift her up a little bit. Ooh, that looks good. That's a beautiful machine.
Next, let's take a look at editing multicam clips. First, if you cut to a different angle at the wrong spot or just want to fine-tune the placement of your cut, the cuts made by switching angles in a multicam clip are through edits. This means the video and audio content on either side of the edit point is continuous. To adjust the cut point, simply click and drag the cut. A 2-up display in the viewer window helps you move your edit to exactly where you want it. If you need to trim off a part of a clip in a through edit, you either need to blade your clip and then delete the part you want to cut, or use a trim to start or trim to end keyboard shortcuts. If you need to switch an angle of a selected clip, you can do so in the info inspector or by using the option modifier with the angle keyboard shortcut. For example, if you want to switch this clip to angle 3, select the clip, hold down the option key and press 3. Instead of blading the clip and cutting to angle 3 at the playhead, the entire clip switches to angle 3. There's a couple more things I want to talk about in this video. Depending on what you filmed, sometimes you may want to use audio from more than one angle at the same time. Just select the clip you want to do that in and go up to the audio inspector. Down at the bottom, you can see we're only using audio from angle 4. To enable audio from other angles too, simply select the checkbox beside that angle. And last, if your performance is an issue when editing a multicam clip, you might have to try Optimize or Proxy Media. To transcode your multicam clip, select it in your media browser, right-click on it, and click Transcode Media. Select either Optimized or Proxy Media, and click OK. This transcodes all the clips inside your multicam clip to whichever you chose. If you transcode it to Proxy Media, you also have to tell Final Cut Pro to use Proxy Media by choosing it in the Media section of the View pop-up menu. This should solve all your performance issues. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, let me know in the comments below. And if you're new here, make sure to check out the rest of my channel for more videos like this one. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.